The rain had stopped, but the silence that followed was louder than thunder. Emma stood on the porch, her trembling hands clutching a small pink umbrella, the one their daughter had insisted on carrying. Behind her, the house was dark, lifeless, like a home that had forgotten laughter. And in front of her stood Daniel, the man who once made her feel safe, now looking like a stranger drenched in regret. His eyes begged for another chance, but hers had already run dry of tears. Before we dive deeper into this emotional journey of love, loss, and the fragile hope that still flickers when everything seems broken, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. Emma had once believed that love could conquer anything. She and Daniel were the kind of couple people envied. College sweethearts who built dreams together, who laughed too loud in coffee shops and danced barefoot in their kitchen long after midnight. When their daughter Lily was born, the world felt complete. But life has a way of testing even the strongest hearts. Bills piled up, Daniel lost his job, and nights grew colder not because of winter, but because of the words they stopped saying to each other. Daniel began working long shifts, picking up whatever jobs he could find. One of them was as a waiter at a downtown cafe. The hours were long and thankless, but he told himself it was temporary. Emma, meanwhile, juggled work and motherhood, silently resenting the growing distance between them. Every argument ended the same way: her tears, his silence, and Lily watching from the hallway, clutching her teddy bear. Then one day, Emma said the words she'd been afraid of for months. "I can't do this anymore, Daniel." It wasn't shouted or thrown in anger. It was whispered, like a truth too heavy to carry. He tried to fight it, but she had already made up her mind. She packed her things, moved, out with Lily, and promised herself she wouldn't look back. Weeks turned into months. Emma built a new routine, convincing herself she was stronger now. But strength can sometimes feel like loneliness dressed in pride. Lily missed her father terribly. She would draw pictures of him and leave them by the window, as if the wind could carry them to wherever he was. Each night before bed, she'd ask, "Mommy, is Daddy still sad?" Emma never knew how to answer. Daniel, on the other hand, was drowning in his own silence. He worked late, often staying behind to clean the cafe after closing, long after everyone else had gone home. Some nights he'd sit by the window, staring at the reflection of a man he barely recognized. He still wore his wedding ring, out of habit, out of hope, or maybe both. He thought about the last time he saw Lily, how she'd clung to his leg, crying, "Don't be sad, Daddy." He thought he had more time. He thought love was enough. One evening, Emma and Lily walked past that very cafe. It was late, and the lights inside glowed softly against the rain-slick streets. Lily pressed her face to the glass and gasped, "Me, it's Daddy." Inside, Daniel was wiping down tables, his movements slow, his shoulders heavy. For a moment, Emma froze. Every emotion she had buried came rushing back. Love, anger, guilt, and a quiet ache that had never really gone away. Lily tugged at her hand. "Can we go say hi?" Emma hesitated. Part of her wanted to keep walking, to protect the fragile stability she had built. But then she saw the way Lily's eyes sparkled, the kind of light that only comes from seeing someone you've missed too long. She nodded softly. When they stepped inside, the small bell over the door chimed. Daniel looked up, stunned. For a second, it was as if time itself had paused. His breath caught in his throat as he took in the sight of them. Emma in her pale blue dress, and Lily holding her mother's hand, wearing the same pink bow she used to wear when he tucked her in at night. "Hey, sweetheart," he said gently to Lily, his voice breaking. The little girl ran into his arms, and for the first time in months, Daniel smiled. But when his eyes met Emma's, the air grew thick again. "You look good," he said quietly. Emma gave a faint nod. "You too." They sat down together, the cafe now empty except for them. The rain began again outside, tapping against the windows like a sad song. Daniel poured them both coffee, just like old times, and for a moment it almost felt like nothing had changed. But when Emma looked into his eyes, She saw the years of exhaustion and mistakes, the weight of all the apologies that had come too late. "I don't know why I came in," she said finally, her voice trembling. "Maybe to see if you were okay." Daniel nodded slowly. "I'm not," he admitted. "But I'm trying." He looked down at his hands. "I lost more than my job, Emma. I lost you. I lost her." Emma's eyes filled with tears she tried to hide. "You didn't lose us, Daniel. You pushed us away." The words cut through the quiet room, leaving behind only the sound of Lily humming softly beside them, drawing hearts on a napkin with a crayon from her pocket. For a long time, no one spoke. The cafe lights flickered slightly, and the sound of distant thunder rolled through the city. Daniel finally took a deep breath. "I know it's too late," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "but I need you to know, I never stopped loving you, either of you." Emma's lip quivered. "It is too late, Daniel," she said, though her heart didn't fully believe it. But before the moment could crumble, Lily looked up from her drawing. Her little voice, innocent and pure, broke the silence. "Mommy," she said, "I still want my daddy." Those 6 words shattered every wall Emma had built. Tears spilled down her cheeks as Daniel's hands began to shake. He reached out instinctively, his fingers brushing against Lily's and then Emma's. The warmth was familiar, like coming home after being lost for too long. That night, they didn't promise to fix everything. They didn't speak of forgiveness or forever. They simply sat there, 3 souls who had been broken by time, quietly finding comfort in each other's presence. When it was time to go, Emma hesitated by the door. Daniel walked them out, the city lights reflecting off the wet pavement. As they stood under the awning, he said softly, "I'll keep trying, Em, even if it takes the rest of my life." She looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. Then maybe it won't be too late after all. In the following weeks, small things began to change. Daniel started joining them for Sunday breakfasts. Lily would sit between them, chattering about her drawings and school, unaware of how her little voice was stitching their hearts back together. Emma still had her doubts, still guarded her heart, but she couldn't deny the tenderness returning in Daniel's eyes, the sincerity in his every gesture. One afternoon, Lily ran up to her mother, waving a crumpled piece of paper. "Look, Mommy, it's our family," she said proudly. In the drawing, 3 stick figures held hands under a rainbow. Emma smiled through tears as she looked at it. "It's beautiful, sweetheart." That night, Daniel dropped them home after dinner. As Emma stood on the porch once again, she realized something profound. Love wasn't about perfection or grand gestures. It was about showing up, even when you failed before. It was about the quiet, everyday effort to choose each other again. And as Daniel knelt to hug Lily goodbye, Emma saw the way he looked at their daughter, with a love so genuine it broke her heart all over again. When he stood up, she whispered, "Good night, Daniel." He smiled faintly. "Good night, Emma." The porch light flickered softly as he walked away, but this time she didn't feel the same emptiness. There was something different in the air, a fragile hope glowing quietly like a candle that refuses to go out, because sometimes, even when love says it's too late, the smallest voice can remind you, it's never truly over.